Let's go. Can I get sued by Nintendo for saying Mario's catchphrase? Can nobody say "Let's go" now? Anyway, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. This is Out to the Round Table. My name is Mello, and today we're just gonna keep riding this wave and put some more work on this Dick Tracy cover. I say cover, but it's really just a personal project. It's nothing for commercial use. Unless it gets bought. Can somebody buy this? Dick Tracy, Big Boy Capri, Breathless Mahoney. Yesterday and the day before I did the inks. This is just India ink. I took the India inks and I covered it with clear gesso. And now I'm using Arteza gouache right on top. One thing I'm learning about this gesso, this smooth textured gesso, I'm really digging this. It's changing the way I am applying the paints. And thank you, sweetheart. My lovely assistant. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks, baby. And can we I'm digging the light here. I don't know how, anyway, who cares? But yeah, man, it's really smooth, so it allows the gouache to kind of glide over it. I was always painting on something that had more texture and allowed me for a more blendy look. I would kind of overwork it. But I am really digging the way this thing looks and how it feels. And depending on how it plays out, might be part of the new process. Who knows? Who knows? So, my palette is dry. I really don't care. Usually when I'm done for the day or whatever, I just kind of let it dry out. I'm just gonna remove these flakes so they won't get mixed in the paint, and then I'll just reapply. But while I do that, man, happy Friday, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic day. The beginning of the day, if it's in the afternoon for you, wherever you're watching, I hope it has been a calm and chill Friday. If it hasn't, if it's the beginning, let it be the beginning of a chill and relaxed Friday. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like the light, the way it looks over it. Gives it a sense of noir, sense of theater and drama. Don't mind my hand. There's a couple of things I don't like right now, just from painting. Do I have any pencils available? Some things that I'm going to be fixing. I'm just making sure I stay in my spot here so that you guys can see the whole piece. This kind of gets lost. I need to add some definition here, so I'm going to add some black, some sharper black to define his jacket. I don't like this green, so I'm going to reapply a little bit more of the hot orange and yellow and earth yellow. I'm going to go back in here and be a little bit more free. I don't want to blend. I want to show texture from the brush. If I can't use texture from the paper, I want to use texture from the brush. I'm just redefining some lines that got lost. But I am really surprised pleasantly surprised on the texture of the paper, the smoothness. Not what I was expecting, but pleasantly surprised, and currently enjoyable. Alright. I'm just trying to save myself from bad connection by closing out other windows, other streaming windows, or YouTube. So if you hear clicking, that's what that's clicking is a boot. If you do jump on, please let me know where you're watching from. Here, put it. Say hello and let me know where you are watching from. Alvas EK. Hello. How you doing? Just putting stuff in the chat. Just putting stuff in the chat, making sure I can see everything. This is my vertical stream. If you want to see if you're able to watch from a computer, you can click on the second link, and you can jump in so you can see my whole desk. But I am painting a Dick Tracy cover. Non-existent cover, but a cover, a personal project. Are you familiar with Dick Tracy, the comic strip character? Yes, I am painting. Or I will be painting. Man, that coffee's hot. So Dick Tracy was a character that was created in the 1930s. In the 1930s, he's a private eye, not a private eye, he's a detective, comic book style. So all the villains, all the mob characters at that time had, if their name was Flat Top, which is an actual character, he would have a flat head. Itchy would have itchy skin, rat face, little face, prune face. They all would have that appearance. All right. I'm not going to worry too much about the black because I'm going to do that later. I think we should start working on the face. I don't like using the flesh tones that come in these packages, like this pink or this nude color or whatever. I don't really like using them, the pre-packaged flesh tones. I rather mix my own in a really cool mix of to get a lot of really good flesh tones. Is really simple. Vermilion, earth yellow, white and black. If you mix those in certain varieties, should be okay. But today I'm going to use some pre-made flesh tones. Sure, what's your question, bud? You might be the only viewer. It's okay, bro. My morning sessions, a lot of my videos like this are low view, or they usually catch them in the back end, the replay. Might be too early for some. It is what it is. Don't bother me none. And you don't gotta feel bad either. It's all good. how long did it take me to paint this? Or in general, on average, it looks like 3-4 hours plus. It depends on the size of the painting. But it looks like on something like this, usually takes that long. And because I'm doing it on a live stream, it takes a bit longer. If I would have just been doing it on my own time, so to speak, right? If I just leave the cameras off and go to town, maybe a little shorter, because there's no breaks. You kind of get into the groove of the process. So nacho cheese, welcome. So early in the morning, some nacho cheese in the morning. That's what's up. But yeah, it would all, and it depends. I think drawing this, it took me about 2 hours. Inking it maybe took about an hour and a half, and then painting it. And then painting it. But I don't really think about it. Time is relative, bro. Alright, let's do some mixing here. Thank you, Nacho. I got so much crap on my desk. Let me see here. Is this light bothering you? You see how it's really bright here on the face? You guys let me know and I'll remove it. See you later, Nacho. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. I need a little bit more yellow in his skin here. I'm not too worried about realistic skin tones. I just want it to look realistic enough, feel me? And I am on my palette here mixing some individual colors so I can lay in some highlights and stuff like that. That's too much brown. That's way too much brown, but I might be able to use it. Good morning, Saboteur. How are you? Cool. Do your thing, man. I appreciate you, man. No, I do. I appreciate the company. So Rory. All right. All right, we're gonna get some dramatic lighting here. We're gonna be some hard, hot, really warm flesh tone to a really, I don't even know, more traditional flesh tone here and hot on the right. So let's do that. It's gonna look weird, but you gotta trust the process here. Vámonos. You gotta be able to trust that it's gonna work. Matthew, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for joining me. Alright, I gotta make sure. Let's see if this my color mix works here. I didn't realize I gotta. I keep drawing inspiration from old characters. Not a lot of people are familiar with Dick Tracy. Is that right? I think it's showing my age. Matthew asking if I'd like to paint. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. We wouldn't be up this early painting something that a lot of people don't recognize if you didn't like it. Alright, need to lighten this up. Have I seen the movie Avatar? Yes. I've only seen the first two. Not too interested in the third one. If you're referring to The Last Airbender, though, I did see that one as well. No, I have not drawn any Navi. So, I don't know if I will. Hey, Aria, thank you. It's good to see you. This part here is going to look really weird because I'm using some very warm skin tones. I want it to seem like a hot red light in the distance. Playing with the atmosphere. Thank you for the hearts. Thanks for the love. It's appreciated. It is absolutely appreciated, and it's one of my favorite commandments. Love one another, take care of each other. So I appreciate that. So this paper is very smooth. Oh, thank you, Aria, for the subscription. Thank you. I'm glad you like this stuff. And I have a ton of other stuff that I paint and draw. Right now, I am kind of focusing on this painted style to try to elevate my comic book, my love for comic book art and noir and pulp comics and pulp books. So if that's your thing, you came to the right place. The smoothness of this paper, because I treated this paper is actually Bristol board. It's what they use for comic book art, and it's smooth already. And it would have been buckling and going all over the place if I didn't treat it. But because I treated it, it's almost super smooth. And it forces me to really concentrate on the type of brush stroke that I'm trying to put in. I don't want to blend too much. I want you guys to see the detail of the brushes. But I don't think I used enough paint, so I'm having to use a lot of water. And that is causing the problem. What do I need? More orange? More nude. I think I need more orange. Kind of winging it here with this color. I really, honestly, I'm just trying to use up my Artezas. I use Hemis right now. I really don't have a preference. I just wanted to get them done. Matthew says, no. Noah's phone. I kind of think I know what you mean. You was talking about the blue people. You was wondering if I might be able to do some sort of art like that. Maybe in the future. Right now, I'm not really interested in those characters at the moment. Not that they are not interesting characters, just for what I'm trying to do, you probably won't see any Navi from me in the near future. Not that I won't, or maybe that I just not right now. Definitely gonna need to go back in there, but like I said, because this paper is smooth, I have to do it in sections. I'm gonna use a bigger brush so that it can remove the need to be tight and precise. I want to be a little bit more loose right now. It needs a little bit of blue for that, or green even. Might not think so, but it implies 5 o'clock shadow. Don't realize how much green we have in our, for light skinned people. I'm really just trying to keep... Oh, there he goes. I might have to mute my microphone if he continues to bark. me 1 second. Sorry about that. He was not gonna stop. I don't blame him. He's just trying to protect us. So. I don't normally use white so early. Oh, the bark is fine. Linkus art. I didn't actually. Maybe I mentioned it, but this is gouache. I'm using Arteza gouache paint for this piece. I normally use Hemi is what I started with, but I wanted to see what would happen if I let my Hemis dry out. And the paper I'm using is Bristol board. Bristol board has been treated with not treated with, that's not really the case, sealed with gesso. I scanned my pencil drawing, scanned it, printed it out, and then inked it. Then I use a fixative over the ink to preserve the inks, and now I'm painting over it after I used the gesso. It's a lot of steps, but it helps for an artist like myself who doesn't have a preferred paper to paint on. I'll paint on anything. And I want to see what works best for me and my style. And I like to draw. I like to draw a lot. So using paper that's conducive to drawing makes it feel good to draw on. If that even makes sense. Does that make sense? I think you know what I'm talking about. But thank you for the question. I don't normally paint like this. I've been watching I've been watching a lot of uh, artist portrait artist of the year. I've been watching a lot of it. I love the show. I love the competition, and just watching the way they build their art and their forms. It's really amazing. Luby, C4TZ, thank you. And thanks for the hearts. I appreciate that. Thank you. Tasia, welcome. Hello there. And my best Obi-Wan voice. Hello there. Thank you guys for joining me. If you guys are curious what I'm drawing or painting, I should say, this is my rendition of Dick Tracy, a character that was created in the 1930s. I was gonna say popular movie in the 90s, but I just looked at the box office. It didn't do very good, which was a shame. I'm gonna have to let that dry. I'm using just a dirty palette, meaning I just got all my flesh tone, my lights to and I'm just trying to emphasize on the planes of the face. I'm just mixing everything together. There's really no rhyme or reason as long as I stay in the color spectrum that I'm using. I think it'll work fine. And gouache is very forgiving in that sense. It could be harsh. You can get muddy real quick. But it's also very forgiving when it comes to being able to work over it. And correct mistakes. So, Linko asks, what is the difference between gouache and acrylic? That's a good question. I'm still trying to figure that out. But no, so the basic answer to that is this. They're very similar, right? The only difference is think of gouache as an opaque watercolor. It's water activated, so you can layer on top of it like you would if you was do watercolor paintings. and slowly build to complete opacity, meaning I can keep layering on top of this until there is no more black lines. Where acrylic is immediately opaque. You get it thick enough and you'll be able to cover all of this. With acrylic, I don't think you would have to paint from light to dark. With gouache, because of the way you can layer on top, you could actually go light to dark, dark to light. It's a bit more versatile, I think. But that could be because I don't do much acrylic painting. I went a very weird route when it came to painting. I started with acrylic. And I did okay. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I wanted it to. This has to be thicker. Also, the thing with gouache is that if you don't seal it, it'll always be alive, in the sense that it'll dry, but the moment you add any type of moisture, water, it'll reactivate. It could be 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 years. If you don't seal your paint and you drop a little water on it, it'll come back alive. So Hannah, this character is Dick Tracy. He is a detective, comic book created in the 1930s. I think if you like Batman's villains, his rogue galleries of villains, those were probably majorly inspired by Dick Tracy's. Dick Tracy's villains were all very colorful and memorable. So I went from acrylic. Didn't really feel it as much as I thought I would. Went with something. I went with something completely difficult, which was the watercolor. Watercolor taught me how to slow down and be deliberate. But watercolor is a bit too chaotic for me. Even when you have an idea of what you're doing, watercolor has a tendency to do whatever it wants. But I liked it so much that I wanted to try gouache, which is, I think, sometimes mistakenly known as opaque watercolor. I didn't want to emphasize too much here. I need to do some more here. So I'm actually going to add a really muddy green. So it'll look like he shaved. And what's cool is that I will be able to add my other lighter colors and it'll blend. Is that right? You mean you and Dick Tracy here? Or the villain? No, that's okay. Yeah, I can't stand working with acrylic. I appreciate people who do. Yes, watercolor's hard. I use oils. You can't stand. Well, I think oils is very difficult. And if you want to see someone who is amazing with acrylics, you have to check out. You may already have them. Watch them. Ewan Ewan, Ewan. He predominantly uses acrylic, I believe. He does other types of uses other types of medium, but um, he might convince you. He's really good. All right. He looks rough. Now I can use the white for my highlights. And the cool thing about about gouache is that you can keep layering because it will blend with the bottom layers. Well, so Hannah, I'll be here for a while if you're done doom scrolling. But I won't stop you. Do I use a mirror? No, sir. I'm mostly guessing. What I do have is I have the original pencil sketch, and that has more of the build of it, so it keeps me in check. And I use these things here. My models and my skulls. So So I use that a lot. And plus, we do these so often that I already know just from repetition. Nico asks, how much time do you have to blend from when you put down the... So like I said, because it's always active, it's always ready to blend. It does die. It does dry quickly. I was gonna say die. It does dry quickly. It seems to dry a lot faster in the palette. And depending on how much moisture you have on your brush, it depends how much it's going to reactivate the bottom layers. So, which is why I'm kind of trying to work quickly and not rub the brush so much around it. So Hannah, what gave it away? The ring? Yeah. So you kind of have to move around, especially with the way I treated the paper. This brush is still kind of moist, and just trying to blend in these two, I didn't do any blending. Let me see if I can move this up so you can check it out. And it may not show, but I just... Now you probably won't see it because it's too bright in here, but I pulled up pigment from these places here, the chin. So I have to wait now for a little later and then apply a thicker application of paint for it to adhere on top. Gouache is one of those mediums that you really need to take time, if that's what you want to do with blending and all that stuff. So, but you can just let it sit and it can layer pretty good on top. You just might need to do extra layers over it. It's one of my favorite pieces here. This one, the whole back piece, I did a light blue underpainting and then slowly build up my tonal value, and then I added the flesh tones, and it still has a bit of a warm color to it. So it's pretty versatile in the sense that you see how the suit has kind of like a watercolor look to it, using gouache as well, using light layers, a lot of water, and then you can build up. So it all depends on what you're trying to do. So here's one of my favorites. I don't know if you guys are familiar with One Punch Man. Come on, baby. Charlie Brown as One Punch Man for Halloween. Here you could do a lot of cool blending or sharp This is some blending up top with some very sharp brush strokes. And a lot of it is this. You put your application down and you're going to wait to see how it looks when it dries. I'm actually trying to... My room is really warm, so... I live down south. It's down south in the US. It's a bit warm down here. Alright. I'm going to use that flash tone again with some purple for her. I'm going to leave him alone because I can come back. But I definitely do not use... I don't... how can I put it? I'm still very novice in how I use gouache. So I encourage you that if you're going to try... to experiment as much as possible. You guys probably can't see so much. So like watercolor, I can put in my general tint. And then by moistening my brush, having it clean, and just using water, I can remove or blend out. To soften it some more. But you can't do that too often. Ha! Creative ambitions, how are you? I have to be careful, right? Would you say if I like it more than watercolor? Yes. I do. I do like it more than watercolor, simply because I think I'm able to control it a bit better than watercolor. But if it wasn't for my small understanding of watercolor, I think my gouache paintings would it'd be harder for me to get as comfortable. I'm going to use some blue later. You mean creative? You mean gouache is your favorite? I have two streams, so I'm answering one question on one stream. All right, I'm gonna try to. She has a really fair skin. So about the light source, I use a lot of what's around me. I'm right-handed, so the majority of my drawings have their shadows deep on the left side. This one's a little bit different. But what I end up doing is I'll use the light behind me, and I have halo lights above me to help me figure out the planes. And even though this face and that face aren't identical, you don't need them to be, because the planes of the face rarely change. No matter how handsome or ugly or monstrous a figure is that you're creating, you can imagine where those shadows are if you have a pretty good understanding of the building blocks of the face. I think. This is supposed to be, in my mind, I'm trying to put in a, like, see-through. And I have no idea how I'm gonna pull that off. Where did I get the mini heads? Amazon. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you the box, and then you can, if you'd like to, you can freeze frame and grab. I want to use some blue. Around her eye. It's not blue, but I mixed blue. Give me 1 second, I'll get those heads. And let this dry a bit. Alrighty. So these are, I have 2 sets, male and female, so that's the dude. And I use these 3 the most. The skull. But that skull is really smooth. I'm gonna show you the one where they provided with the female one. What can I put it so you guys can see? Are you dry? I think his face is dry, so we'll put him up here. And be careful. Just keeping heads in boxes. Who does that remind you of, Charlie? Do you get the polygonal look? These are super helpful. And then the female head. Surprisingly, I don't use this one that often. I think they're too defined. That's right, he was telling me. So these are a little bit harder to use as reference because they're so defined to this figure's face. The muscle one is really good, and the skull are better, in my opinion. But I do have this one open because of the planes of the face. But it has too many planes, if that makes sense. But I do like this one, where it has kind of like the muscle tone, because I think this allows you to mentally project how these things kind of shrink and tighten. Shrink and tighten, that's the same thing. Contract and expand. So I have these out. I put kneaded eraser, rolled it up, and put divots in there and stuck it in the eyes. I was I need to fix that one. It's a little bit crooked, but I needed to. I just liked having the 3D effect to it, as opposed to the blank. I feel this head, this skull, is a bit too stylized. I like the realistic looking one a bit better. I tell you, Linkos Art, I do not shy away from models. I don't shy away from figurines. I don't shy away from using reference in my art. I think the more you, my mental Rolodex is limited because I grew up looking at and studying and emulating comic books. So what happens because of that? My figures are either stiff and muscular in a singular pose, lunging action, that type of stuff. So the figurines that I use, like this guy here, is not necessarily for the shape. It's just to help me in 3D space imagine it, or in shading. Hands, heads, and rulers. Oh yeah, you went to see my hand, like this dude here, Buffalo. This is the last dude the last model that I hired. I haven't used them that often. Maybe two or three. It's just so absurd. I actually kind of bought it just because it's so absurd. Here, my I lied. This was the most recent. This is actually really cool. It's a 3D printed, nicely articulated. If you're worried about where your characters are going to start looking like your models, I suggest grab this one. It's firm. It only costs like $8 for this size. It has great accessories. It has a giant sword, a gun, breaking stuff. What else? Like a pistol gun. It has several hands to use. I think they gave me 2 left hands. But when I start doing my storyboards, and I need quick reference, I think, on the fly, I need to start working a bit faster to get my ideas on paper. And this would be really quick because I'm not focused on what the muscle's gonna look like. I can just get my pose in, and get the shape. I don't really need assistance with the exact anatomy because we're not doctors. That's 2. This guy. Don't be shy. Oh, this guy here. Sorry, bro. I'll send you the link to that. I think it's dope. This is by far one of my more popular posers. He has like the perfect oh no, what's the word I'm looking for? Proportions for comic book art, for comic book superhero. And he got boots. I think he has shoes too, bare feet. Yeah, dude, I think you would benefit from drawing this one. I'll send you the link. This one's called, I think, Dummy 21 or Dummy 12. I can't remember. Why you call it Dummy? I think it's Dummy 12 or Dummy 2. remember. This is a smaller one. That's half the size. I didn't think that was going to work for me. Comes fully built, fully articulating. They even have the clips in the back, so if you have armatures to hold them in place, I think you would rock this one. Here, just in case you guys know, I am not a poser. Where is it? My Bob Ross brush cleaning and bucket. My videos always end up turning into show and smell, show and tells. Come here, buddy. Oh, he's stuck. Get my cape. I don't use that often because it just doesn't sit well with any of my figurines. And it's a little short. Actually, that's not bad. Saboteur, are we working on a sword and sorcery book? Homie, has a cloak. I don't know. The ideas are pouring in. Who else? I got Sylvester Stallone here. It's kind of blurry. Actually, look at that. He actually looks like my he looks like Dick Tracy there in the background. The reason I like this character, his legs are falling apart. That's why I taped him up. And he's in the nude, and I don't want to get tagged. Oh, I think I just broke it. I felt something pop. Is the weird. Yeah, I think the heads would be dope. If you guys get a chance, freeze frame that shot. I might be able to find the links. But I like this model because of this weird skin, this like lifelike skin. And you get some really cool folds. The shoulders or stretch of the abs. I used this one a lot early. That's why he's so dirty. But yeah, you get some really cool, realistic looking. Not everybody's built like Saboteur, so we gotta use our models. Alright, let me put these guys. Oh yeah, this guy. I have a male and female version of this guy. This one was really cool to quickly jot down also posture because of the way it's segmented the body. So it allowed me to quickly realize the chest plate, yeah, the rib cages. So anything to make the process smoother, faster. Oh yeah, Susan, squishy. I have a female version of the, and I just don't like it. The hair, I would rather have it have plastic hair in a ponytail, but it has like fake hair, and it's just all over the place. Yeah, and that's the female version. I like this one. I use this figurine a lot when drawing Spider-Man, because he's not very muscular. He is in terms of athletic musculature, but I use her a lot, jeez Louise, as my base for the modeling and just the 3D space. These are a little pricey. I don't recommend these that much. So Um, but also, I really do like the way these are segmented with the chest plate, the rib cage, the stomach. It does help break down the figure. That all of them? That's all of them? Bing bam. And of course, my toys. Snake eyes. I got you, brother. I'm gonna get it right now. When I let my layers dry out. When did I get it? I'll put the link up there, buddy. Ooh. Dummy 20. Oh, dude, the tariffs got you, bro. It's like 20 bucks. I got it for less than that. Huh. Yeah, absolutely. I got it for $9.99 and they now have it the same model. $18.99. Sorry. So sorry. They have several colors. It's cool though. They got a scale head of Angelina Jolie. They don't say her name, but it's definitely her. I can't seem to find those heads anymore. They're in there somewhere. I might just be using the wrong name on them. And lastly, and this, I'm sure there's more. Happy Friday, Susan. Thank you for swinging through. Always, I appreciate you. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Happy Friday. You get a thumbs up. All right. Okay, shall we continue? I don't know quite how I'm going to draw that figure, paint that figure, but I don't care. It's the one thing that I don't like about this soft paper. It worked well when I was doing broad, big brush strokes for his coat, but it doesn't really work well when doing the faces, simply because it gets streaky, and that is what I was suffering with when I did the cover. So we're just gonna have to use thicker paints, I guess. But it just means I need to be a bit more deliberate, which is what this exercise was for. But I am actually really trying to lean into the painterly look of the pulp covers, man. And if I can just embrace that, I don't think it's gone, but to bring it back, I don't really see that style anymore. If I can, contemporary, you know what I'm saying? Hello, Loida Marquez. Because you know what would be really cool to instill a nostalgic feel to something that's brand new, right? And I think that's what we all kind of like thrive for. Something that feels familiar and get the warm and fuzzies. Considering how often we watch remakes of stuff we don't need, we're constantly looking back. So might as well tap into that and Linkosar, do you see how it kind of almost looks effortless about the blending? Because the top layer ends up blending and merging with the ones underneath. You don't have to worry too much. As long as your base is okay, you don't have to worry too much about how it's gonna look. The colors will pull through. just kind of have to wait and see how it comes out. And it really adds a lot of nuance to your pieces, and to us it'll, to the naked eye, it'll look very laborious. We know the truth. So I think my goal with this one is to make it look as if it was on canvas, knowing that it's not, knowing that it's smooth. Because if we can do that, I'm just thinking about the saving money part. Although I enjoy painting on canvas, they're pretty expensive. Anyway, it's all about saving money. What the frig is my orange? Bringing out the Hemi. You can tell I've used these a lot. I'm trying to let them dry out a bit. I've had some trouble with mold. This light blue color had got mold. I had to chuck it. I had some white that got moldy. That's not mold, that's just dirt. So, but yes, that's the one thing that sucks about these type of jelly containers. I need some. Man, it's still moist. I'm gonna work on this side of the face here. My OBS is freaking me out. I know I've been on with you guys and it says, do I want to go live? And I'm like, don't press that button. Yes, the Dick Tracy movie came out in 1990. I remember watching it without really knowing. The only thing I knew about the character is I used to read the comic strips. But what a great time to be a fan in between 88, 89, 90, all the way to 93, 94. Ninja Turtles, Batman, The Shadow, Dick Tracy, The Phantom. I know people will be hating on The Phantom, but The Phantom? And then, of course, The Rocketeer. But The Rocketeer is kind of cheated. It's a pulp hero that was created in the 80s. But that's how well Dave Stevens did him. That and Spawn. That's right. Did Spawn come out in the? Oh, I must have. I have to Google it now. That looks really hot on screen, but in front of me it's not as bright. I just looked over and I'm like, oh no, his face is on fire. But I am looking. I'm looking at a bunch of different monitors. Friggin' Spawn. When did Spawn come out? '97. Okay, so it was near. It was near the. During that end. And spawned. Yeah, the show and the comic came out in the early '90s. I think '92 might be too early for Spawn. Because I think I don't know if the Image era started just yet. Autumn Messiah. This is an acrylic. This is gouache, and my tip for you, if you're trying, just buy some inexpensive gouache and mess around with it. And I encourage you not to think too much about it. Meaning, don't try to change your style too much. See what you can do with gouache or even acrylic, and see if you can use your method of alcohol markers, right? So, because a lot of the times the processes are the same. With alcohol markers, you start out light, right? Because you can't go from dark to light. You have to go light to dark. Use that same process and see how that works for you with the extra medium. I think we have a tendency to overthink processes when it comes to different mediums. Yes, you might have to think about it differently, but try not to change your method too much. The Saboteur is called a Dummy 2. Dummy 2. Oh, I put the link. Scroll up a bit on our chat. I put the link in there for you. But yeah, that's it really, Autumn Messiah. Just we as artists tend to overthink. I'm constantly overthinking. You know, we're constantly overthinking. But I think that's why when I tried acrylic, I really didn't know what I was doing. I did a lot of landscape, and I don't do landscapes and like that. So I studied a lot of YouTube videos, that type of stuff. And then I went to I quit for a bit, and I went to alcohol markers to try to learn the slow process of building up layers. And I went from there to... You're very welcome, bud. Acrylic to watercolor. Acrylic to alcohol markers to watercolors, and from watercolors I went from here. And the only major difference between watercolor and gouache is that you can go and start dark. It'll be slow going, trying to build up from dark to light, but it's absolutely possible. I can drop a dark shade here, which I might, just to emphasize it, and I can still go back with a lighter note to get it going, to fix it, to correct it. Dhruv, welcome. It's good to see you. And you say, seeing how the drawing comes to life every day, it looks even better. I appreciate that. Thank you. And yeah, you've been with me from I think the inking stage. I drew the picture a couple months ago. Hey, you guys want to see the original picture? Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to make sure I don't mess this, smooge my painting or... Un momento, por favor. I'm going to take it out of the package. The package. Or... I got a mess. I got a mess on my desk. It's false advertisement. I got a square table. And my show is called Arts of the Round Table. So, Automasiah. Automasiah. It's a great name. Let me know if that answered your question, or if you'd like to know a bit more, kind of how to transition to that. And like I said, man, just you're an artist. Go for it. Go for it. Give it a shot. All right. Just gonna swipe through these so I can show off some pieces for you. These, I have them all scanned in. I would love to paint this Beta Ray build. This is so busy. Oh, you're welcome, man. This is going to be one of my next inking video. When I'm done with this Dick Tracy one, I've been on this fake cover or just team up style book. Anyway, I've been trying to develop a series of paintings and drawings of book covers. Dick Tracy was one of them. Spawn Blade is another. Where's links are? Yeah, man. Where is it? Hey, there you go. Are you guys excited for the new Masters of the Universe? It's Fisto. If you guys are into it, listen, I can't say enough how much of a fan of pulp and these type of heroes based in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. I have a video out on Monday how I drew, inked, and painted the Rocketeer. And if you're interested, make sure you guys subscribe and hit the notification bell. So when that comes out. I think it's this one. Alright, so this is my original pencils. Yeah, so this is the original pencils to the Dick Tracy painting that I'm doing. And yeah, so my process has been so far, except unless it's on a canvas or anything like that, draw it out, scan it in. I use black ink, or sometimes I'll use acrylic paint for my full black tones. And then I paint right over it. This is Bristol board paper, Strathmore. This paper, smooth. This is already my printed version. This is the one I'm going to ink. I'm going to keep the original in its place, so when this is done and painted, I'm going to put them next to each other, side by side. So stick around if you guys want to see that sometime next week. Wow. And then that's actually not... draw better than I ink. I ink a bit better than I paint. I'm still getting better. I'm still practicing, y'all. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm trying to get a side by side. I like how full the face is. I painted over this line here, which gives him a fuller face. Dick Tracy squints. His original design, he got squinty eyes, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep it kind of realistic. The only unrealistic figure is Big Boy, and I used Al Pacino in makeup for that reference, for that caricature. I didn't have to do any underpainting, but you could. Remember, because I use gouache, every layer is active. So if I was to use an underpainting, I might have to wait a while for it to set really well to paint on top. But gouache is so versatile, you can use an underpainting of acrylic, which I've done before, acrylic and gesso. I don't have any around me. I think I sold them. Yeah, I'm really digging this one. I'm not a egotist, guys, I promise, but I'm really enjoying the way the brushstrokes are appearing, especially how smooth this is. I'm more accustomed to a textured paper that allows for the paint to break up naturally. Using rougher brushstrokes really does help create the atmosphere here of what I'm looking for. I might be doing this, I might be using this smooth gesso more often, if this is what the results are going to be for me. This is the second time I used that method of the smooth gesso. This was the first time. This is on one of those blank covers, blank comic book covers that you see them painting over or drawing over on what the hell are these guys? Are you dry? You are dry. This was the first time using that gesso, the smooth one. I have used gesso before. I don't want to misspeak or make it sound like I'm deceiving you guys. Oh, it's my first time. No. First time using clear, smooth, textured gesso. I didn't read the description very well. I was expecting something else. But it was very difficult this first time because I couldn't blend them in. I had to kind of like accept the brush strokes. So struggling with this is really helping me with this. But I got a ton of these blank covers. That I cannot wait to use. I got a Transformers one here. I got a Grimlock idea I got going. You guys watching Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus? I have a really cool idea, hopefully, and homage that I want to do for this. Because I'm a nerd. Darkwing Duck. Iron Man, because I'm a nerd. And if you're my age and you're going to tell me you wasn't a fan of Xena, you lying? Tarzan, some Shadow Batman, obviously. Again, if you guys are going to say y'all weren't jamming to Go-Go Rangers, man, Go-Go Rangers, you lying? I don't know how I'm going to do with a black cover, but I'm going to try. So we got projects if you guys want to stick around and hang out with me. Alright. We've been here, 157. I think he's pretty set. I gotta paint his hand. You don't like... Oh, man. You lying, bro. I know you lying. I know you was in the, you was rooting for Xena and Gabrielle. So you jocks are loving, dude. Don't be lying. Would you, I know you weren't cheering for Hercules. Disappointed. Straight fibbing, bro. All right, I'm gonna lay down the mess me up. I'm gonna lay down the first layers for no, she wasn't in Rome. She was in Spartacus. Cause I think either her husband or the production house that did Xena did Spartacus. Isn't that one funny? What the frick? What ran you 65? What the heck ran you $65? I like how it was my fault. Yeah. Wow. Well, for the sake of art, brother, I'm sure it was worth it. Are you gonna make it worth it? You're crazy. You better quit it, bro, because you're gonna end up having to travel coach. Ah, see, that's cool, man. You're a nut for spending it, but hey, for the art, man, for the love of the art. I understand. Sorry. I just want to get this down so that I can end this stream on a good note, positive note. And then when am I coming back? Probably next week, Wednesday. To finish up on this piece. I don't remember using up all my white. It's like cartoonist kayfabe, right? The kayfabe effect. They really did make me spend a lot of money on artist editions and all that stuff. I have to call it the mellow effect. What's that song? I'm not gonna find it. That's funny. You don't need it, man. I'm gonna try to help. Now I'm gonna try to help you. You don't need it, bro. Do you think? Well, dude, I might be out of here in a few. So, thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate you always. Sorry I made you dig in your wallet. Happy Friday. If I might jump on later on and do some sketchbook sketching and let this sit. Cause I'm digging that stuff. But yeah, I won't keep talking while you're walking away. So I appreciate you, bro. If I see you, I see you. I might be on later. If not, have a fantastic rest of your Friday. Hot diggity. Linko's Arts, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you. Chuck, my dude, how are you, brother? Now I'm gonna have to check it out. I got a nice spot in my book for it. Chuck, I think I'm gonna print that piece out when it's said and done. I'm gonna print it out and frame it, put it in my office. No, it's all good. Hold on one second. Oh, I was gonna say, bro. I was gonna say congrats. But both congrats. And good luck, man. I know you mentioned that about your move, so yeah, good luck, bro. And like I said, I am in no position to rush you for anything. This is it's an amazing experience just being on the outside. And super thank you, man. Thank you. And good luck on your move. But absolutely, man, I am in no position to rush you. No, thank you. Catch you later, man. Have a good one, bro. Bro, I gotta change that. So yeah, party peoples, if you guys are watching, I am gonna finish up some of the basic shading on his hand here. I'm gonna let the music play me out, and I'm gonna wish every one of you guys a fantastic Friday. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for keeping me company. As always, it's greatly appreciated. It's still in the air for me if I'm going to jump on later on today. Depends how quickly I can do some of my chores and my grown-up stuff. But till then, thank you. This is Arch of the Round Table. My name is Mello. God bless you. I love you. Mean it. And as always, I'll draw you later. Bye-bye.